Bonjour everyone! I am Yann, your favorite friendly Frenchman, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Simple Park. Last episode we started working on Outer Wilds Ventures, which is our car ride for Simple Park, so if you haven't seen this episode, please click on the top right hand corner to see this episode right now. Because it's gonna be really tough for you to understand what I'm saying in this episode, because I'm gonna make a lot of references to what I've said in the previous episode, so yeah, you really need to watch it to understand this one. Anyway, so yeah, we're continuing working on the car ride, which is totally amazing, by the way. I love the way it turned out in the end. I think it's really interesting to have a car ride that is not only chill, you know, that is peaceful and that is really comfortable to be around and has a good vibe as well. But it's also a way to promote that idea of exploring Simple Park, of exploring Outer Wilds as well. Because basically the idea behind this car ride was that I had done in 2016 a road trip around the western states of the United States of America, and yeah, basically it had a lot of random things, you know, that you wouldn't really expect along the road, but once you see them, you know, it's kind of a roadside attraction, if that makes any sense. I don't know what you locals call it, but I figured that yes, the Rocky Mountains would have that as well, and so that's why I wanted this car ride, Outer Wilds Ventures, to basically explore the surroundings of the town and see what made this town special, or what sort of special things were around this town. And the first special thing is this big, huge waterfall coming from the top of the mountain, which we haven't built yet, but it's gonna be called Giant's Falls, which is again a reference to Outer Wilds. If you haven't seen the last episode, again, it's last chance. Now you have to watch it, because you're not gonna understand why I'm talking about Outer Wilds. But Outer Wilds is this game that I absolutely love, and there is a planet in Outer Wilds that is called Giant's Deep, and so I wanted to call it Giant's Falls to make a reference to that. And the idea of having a bridge that was kind of actually modern for a town like Outer Wilds, but this bridge was basically inspired by a scene in Cars, the Pixar movie, when Flash McQueen and Sally are driving around a sort of canyon, and at one point they cross a bridge, and behind the bridge there is this huge waterfall. This is basically what I wanted to replicate in a way. I wanted to have this feel of not this feel, but this shot from the movie. I had this shot in the movie in my mind, and I wanted to recreate it with actual cars going on the bridge and everything. So that's why this section was always straight. It was always to have a car going on there. But yeah, there you go. You have one of the first signs, Giant's Falls. We also have the speed limitation, which is 5 miles per hour. I just done the conversion between kilometers per hour and miles per hour on Google, because well, my game is obviously in kilometers, because this is the best metric system. Anyway, point is, the car ride is going at 8 kilometers an hour, and that's roughly equals 5 miles per hour. Oh my god, what is going on? My mouth is going frog again. Yeah, I'm turning into a frog. I love turning into frog. Oh my. It's going well, but yeah, I'm starting to make this waterfall, and I love doing waterfalls in this game. It's such a good thing to do and to challenge yourself, because it's, you know, it's physics in the end. does that water that comes from this source will overflow, and will it fall down again and to cause that waterfall? Is that realistic enough to make the player that will visit your park believe in that waterfall? And I think this is probably one of the most challenging things to do in Planet Coaster, because you have all those basins, I guess, to take into account. Well, at least the way I do it. But yeah, and I also have the pumping system, because yeah, we're in the Rocky Mountains, but who knows? Maybe this thing was actually a set. You know, maybe it wasn't something that was there at first, and it was maybe carved in the mountain, and then the water started to be pumped from the bottom to the top, and that's why we got this continuous waterfall. Maybe, why not? And also because we're at the foot of a mountain, I wanted to have this little sign with I actually don't know how you call that in English, but you know, the rocks falling from the mountain. I wanted to have nets, because when we go to the Alps, Europeans, and I guess it's the same in America, we have those sort of nets to avoid the big rocks to hit the road and destroy the cars. It's obviously a very perilous place to be, the mountains, a place to drive at least, because of all those little not subtleties, because that's not a word in English, but the subtleties. There we go. Subtleties that you have to take into account, because you're literally at the foot of a mountain, so that's probably the most dangerous. If there is a rock falling on the road, you don't want to be under there. So yeah, you gotta be careful, you gotta be mindful of your surroundings when you drive. This is not, absolutely not a safety, well actually yes, it could be a safety warning for you drivers out there. If you go into the mountains, be careful be mindful of the rocks that may fall, like these ones with the nets, even though those nets probably won't hold if some rocks fall from up there. So yeah, this is great. And I started doing the music as well, because we're gonna use the same music that we've used next episode. We've changed the music. We've used the second music in the park, which is World's Fair America. It's such a great track, the World's Fair America, in my opinion. I remember Poops It Out, he used it in his Savory Downs park, and it basically reminded me that I could use it. So yeah, there we go. I had and I think I already told that in the last episode, so I'm not gonna tell that again, but I almost used it in Marvelous Realms again. And now what we're doing is a grotto, specifically Welfare's grotto. Why is it Welfare's grotto? Because Welfare is a good friend of mine and a great player, a great creator in Planet Coaster on the PS Workshop. And he's created those blue elephants that he wants us to use them all throughout our parks to basically signify, okay, this is a PlayStation park, so yeah, what's up, PlayStation fam, you know? That's basically it. So yeah, because he was the creator of those elephants and the guy who had the idea of those elephants, I wanted to put the elephants in the park, but I didn't know where, because an elephant truly doesn't feel right at its place, you know, in a Western park. So I imagined that Welfare would be this wood carver that was in a grotto, and basically he was carving all of this wood to create this blue elephant, and it's his masterpiece, you know. So yeah, there we go, Welfare, another guy that we love in the park. We're starting to have a lot of people in the park, and it's not stopping right now. We'll have another one in the next episode. Well, actually, 2 people in... no, not yet. Not yet. But yeah, the next episode will be an actual coaster, a new coaster, yeah guys. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to watch that, because it's gonna be an absolutely great coaster. I've built it, so I know. But yeah, it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be on the right side of the park. And right now what I'm doing with the mountain is that I'm trying to play with the forced perspective of those mountains to make them seem bigger than they actually are in the game. I don't know if that worked well. You guys will have to let me know. I'm kind of happy with how it turned out, because in the end there's not much else I can do except doing maybe actual big sized regular sized mountains. And to end things up, we had to work a little bit on this side of the mine train, because it's a side that interacts with the car ride. We'll see that in the POV later on in the video, but yeah, I wanted to make this mine train really interact with the terrain around this section of the track. So yeah, I think I did a pretty good job as well. I'm really happy, because with the views that we had, that we have of this mine train, I managed to not block it too much so that you see most of it, but then again that you have this feel of, yeah, this is definitely complete. But with that comes the end of the speed build. And welcome back to Simple Park. Yes, as you can see in the background, we have a lot of changes this episode, because we've basically completed the whole front of the park. Well, the straight line from the entrance to the car ride is basically finished. I don't think I'm gonna have an overview of that later on the video, but yeah, as you can see, it totally changes the way we perceive things, because everything was super flat at the beginning, and now we have those big mountains that feel real, because they are they use the trick of the forced perspective to basically make you feel like this is a real mountain, and you can see the difference between what's bare on the left and what's done and finished on the right. So yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys the way it looks from inside Outer Wilds, because it changes everything. Basically, it's totally a game changer to have that in the park. So much so that it now feels weird to not have mountains on this side of the park, but have mountains on, well, my left right now. Like, look at this. This is so brutal. This is not a good transition, and we're going to fix that in the next episode with the whole ride area. But yeah, look at that. This is basically Outer Wilds Ventures and the outskirts of Outer Wilds. So I'm so happy it turned out the way it turned out, basically. But yeah, man, it's really starting to feel better and better with every episode, and more complete with every episode, which is what we want. And as I told you earlier, with the views around the mine train, I wanted not to obstruct this view in particular when the mine train ducks under the other piece of track. Yeah, I know you don't really know the layout of the mine train yet. We'll come to that in maybe, let's say, 3 or 4 episodes time, something like this. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But let's go back to Outer Wilds Ventures, and look at that, it all feels complete, and everything is blocked, feels like a real mountain. Like when you look at the foot of the mountain, you see the smaller trees in the distance, you think like, okay, this is actual perspective, so I feel like I'm in there. But yeah, why don't we take a look at the POV of this car ride? I really want to show you guys this, so enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this 9th episode of Building a Simple Park. This was really a favorite for me because I love this idea of the bridge. But yeah, if you liked it as well, please leave a like and tell me that you liked it in the comments. And if you want to see the other episode, consider subscribing because there are a lot more coming your way. Anyway, this has been Yann, your favorite friendly Frenchman, and I'll see you in the next one. À bientôt!